for the heavyweight championship of the world. Are you ready?
Hey, welcome to another episode of In This Corner. Coming out the white corner, my name is Bill, ready to fight.
And coming out the black corner, my name is Barry, and I'm ready to fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to In This Corner, where we settle the score once and for all on who's the best. That includes best music, best shows, best movies, best anything, basically. And today, what are we talking about, Bill?
Hey, today, man, we got a pretty good one. Classic albums. Everybody calls it something a classic. I hear this album is a classic. I hear this album is a classic. But what is really a classic album? You know what? Today, me and my brother Barry, we're going to discuss what is or what constitutes a classic album.
Yeah, this topic actually got me and Bill into a little quarrel prior to the show. So we wanted to bring it up to you guys. So let's jump right into it, man. We're going to look at criteria. We're going to share our personal criteria. After that, we're going to take a look at some notable classic albums, right? And then after that, we'll just have an open discussion, some things that we may have left on the table.
Yeah.
So for starters, when you hear the name classic, Bill, what are you thinking of when you hear that term?
Okay, so this is my thing. A lot of people, if they just like an album, a lot of them just say, oh, it's a classic album. No. Deion Sanders said something about Hall of Fame, right? He said it's a Hall of Fame and it's a Hall of Very Good or something like that.
Yeah.
You got to have something that separates, or you got to have some kind of something that makes this album, what makes them fall into separate categories, right? So for me, I have criteria that makes an album a classic. For me, impact. Is the album impactful, right? Also stemming from impact, does it change the scope of music in some kind of way, right? So if you take that album away, does it change the outlook of certain music, or does it hurt that particular artist's catalog, so forth, right? Also, I look at the tracks. I look at a percentage. I was talking to a couple of my buddies, talked to Barry, and I kind of asked a few people, if you have a album with a certain amount of songs, what percent of your songs have to be up to this level and opposed to the overall tracks on the album, right?
And
So if you have 20 tracks on the album, you have 4 songs that we just deem amazing, and the rest are Can those 4 carry the album? Absolutely.
It's a tough listen when you got to get through 16 songs.
Yes.
So
but is that a classic album?
Yeah, me and you kind of disagreed on this one.
Yeah, we disagreed on the percentage.
I don't know if there's a magic number, because I think, what was the percentage you gave?
I looked at initially I said 85%.
Yeah, you still feel that way?
I think I'm going to look at least 70%. I'll go to 70.
Okay.
I'll go to 70. Because we got certain albums that only have 10 songs, 73. I'll go with 70.
And I think that's the only reason I pushed back, because I felt like your percentage was high. But when I look at some of the classic albums, and we'll get into notable classic albums later, 10 songs, it's like 3 of them I could skip. With some classic albums, it's about 5 songs I could skip. So I don't know if there is a magic percentage number, but what I would say that I kind of agree with you on is we can't base it off of personal preference. It can't just be your favorite album, which deems it classic. I do feel an album has to have critical and commercial success. The reason I'm putting that, I was a little confused on this topic, Bill. So I went to Webster's Dictionary and I pulled over the definition that's fitting for this topic.
Make sure you flash across that screen.
Huh?
Flashed across that screen.
I got you.
All right.
So it's the definition of a classic. It's something judged over a period of time to be the highest quality and outstanding of its kind. I think that's fitting for this because one of the terms that I hate the most is when people say instant classic, because that's an oxymoron. In order to be classic, you have to be appreciated over time. So I think you have to come out the gate with the record sales. They have to put that, they put you in that category, but also the people like the music. So commercial success, meaning critical and commercial. I do feel like people have to like the album for that day and they will appreciate it over time. When that happens, the music, like for example, my daughters have never listened to some of these classic albums with me, but they know the music because these songs are always on soundtracks. They're top 40, so they always getting played on the radio. And I think when you have
ever living,
like evergreen. So whenever you have that in your repertoire, like you are considered classic. So I think for me, I'm just putting, it needs to have critical commercial success at the time of its release.
I agree.
And that needs to carry it over time to where it still ranks in popularity or at least enjoyment over time. And it's not a nostalgia effect. It's the people appreciate the music. So
if you look at everything that we talked about in totality, right? Critical and commercial success.
Yep.
Album sales. I know today we can't really look at album sales and download and streams, but we do know that there are albums that they have taken the world by storm, right? And it has to have longevity, right? It has to be impactful. It just has to be impactful. It has to do something for a region, a state, that person, anything. I think that can go across genres, not just because, we typically focus on R&B, but I think our criteria can go across different genres, right? So if you have an album of 20, 30 songs and you're saying that you're giving us 5 songs, 6 songs, what about the other 14? You can't, Are we going to focus on the 6 and forget about the 14?
I think albums like that, though, I think albums like that, what you're talking about, I think they rarely elevate to classic status. I think most people understand that those are hard listens. So when I say critical and commercial success, some of that, the underlying theme under there is, it's an easy listen. Like people listen to you over and over. It's hard for me to remember an album that's considered classic where, here's another thing. This is what I'll say. There are certain albums that are considered classic, and I know they're classics. I don't necessarily like every song on the album. However, every song on the album has a cult following to where that's a lot of people's favorite song. You understand what I mean by that?
I know what you're saying.
So like that's happening also. Like maybe there's 14 songs Bill doesn't like, but out of that 14, it has to be a huge cult following that likes track number 8. Like it has to be, okay, I don't like it here, but you know what? People on the West Coast, they jam to this and it's their favorite record. Us on the East, we sticking with tracks 1 through 3. So the totality of the album is universally loved. It's just people are selective in different regions on which songs they love.
Yeah. So but then if you go and look at the you go and look at these albums, typically you're going to have multiple songs that chart. Typically, not all the time, but we're talking about the totality of all these classic albums, right? There's never going to be anything that's stuck into into our criteria only. There are going to be anomalies everywhere, right? All the time. But when you're talking about the majority should fit within this realm that we're talking about that makes albums classic.
Yeah. So now that we somewhat explained our criteria, let's see how it holds up, and let's start poking holes in this theory. So I do want to look at some notable classic albums.
Yes.
And I heard what you grading these off of. You heard what I graded off of. If I hear something come out your mouth that's a little sideways based off of your criteria, I'm gonna raise my hand and say, but what about
all mine are gonna all of mine are gonna
see. I feel like I got,
and I'm just gonna go off the dome. I'm not
I got a couple written down. Some of them I'm gonna go off the dome, and then a lot of them I'm gonna agree with you on. So when you think of notable classic albums, let's just start shooting. Like, what comes to mind?
Waiting
And
to Exhale.
we talk about
Are we doing soundtracks as well, or
yeah, we doing soundtracks. I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday when we talked, I mentioned soundtracks, and I felt like you gave me a hard time.
okay?
And I feel like you like soundtracks more than me, so I'm like, how are you gonna fight me on soundtracks? But you
Well,
put Waiting
because
to
it's
Exhale.
not. Well, the reason why that came up was because the topic that we're going to discuss later.
Yeah, I feel
That
like
that's why.
a classic album is a classic album. Soundtracks.
Yeah, but if it's not my album, I can't. I can't
I
say
understand
you
that,
have
but
one.
so
So okay.
go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
can you say, and I'm going to mention the name.
Mhm.
Can you say Tony Braxton has a classic album because of Boomerang?
She only had what, 2 singles on there?
But that's what I'm saying. So
Nah,
it's
but
not her
I
album.
don't think a classic album has to be tied to an artist.
No, but that's going to be our next discussion.
Yeah. So
They
I mean,
have to have it. That has to be their album. Don't worry about that, people.
all right.
Barry and I know what we're talking about. So let's go.
So notable
Waiting
classic
to
albums.
Exhale.
You got
Waiting to Exhale.
I
Is that a
agree.
classic album?
I said is
Why?
critical and commercial success, even
Mhm.
years after the fact. That
Mhm.
music still resonates with people. Just a couple years ago, Babyface did the IG Live ceremony for it.
Mhm.
So that shows you that the music has stood the test of time.
16 songs
Mhm.
on the album. I have maybe one skip,
Mhm.
maybe.
And I feel like with soundtracks, it's easy to cheat because people automatically could put a picture. You know, we could do that with music videos, but you could put a
Yeah.
scene.
Okay.
So
I'll tell you what. Let's just stick to. Let's not hit soundtrack albums. Let's just do
I feel
artist albums only.
okay.
All right?
So I got Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Classic
Okay.
album.
All
It's
right.
not a
Commercial success. I think it went diamond. So
yeah.
man, I just was like, I always used to hear platinum. I think that's the first time I heard diamond. I'm like, what is
Mhm.
that?
Yeah.
So
it's not a
yeah.
We don't even have to question that. That has literally been deemed one of the greatest albums of all time.
Yeah. All right.
Forget classic. They were talking
Yeah.
about
It's her
about
magnum
Rushmore, like-
opus. Yeah.
Yes.
So
okay.
what
Don't be
else we
cruel,
got?
Bobby Brown. Don't be cruel, Bobby
I
Brown.
got that on my list as well.
Okay.
I believe that is one of the best R&B albums of all time.
Not a question.
That so many, like when you talk about impact, we consider R&B like whenever it comes to a male solo artist, the new age, they have to like be a derivative of Bobby, like, you know, the sex appeal, the stage performance and all that. So when you talk about the impact that that album had on the Ushers of the world, the R. Kellys of the world, the Chris Browns of the world, I think it speaks for itself. So
Yeah.
don't be cruel.
Yeah. Okay.
I got speaking of influence, but Confessions, Usher.
Not the question. Diamond.
Yeah.
What?
Commercial, critical.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's
Culture,
everything.
cultural impact.
Culture.
What you got?
Songs in the Key of Life.
That's correct. I got that as well. I got
Okay,
that. I got that
okay.
written down.
For you youngsters out there, who don't know, that's Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, and most of the songs that I feel like most of the youngsters who do know Stevie Wonder music, take away the Christmas stuff, they're actually referencing the music from Songs in the Key of Life. So
Mhm.
since we talking about songs, I'll go songs in A minor. I'll say Alicia Keys. I got that as a classic. You know,
Okay.
I had the album and it was girl came out like a Prince protege and stuff like that. So is that a classic? All right, so we agree on most of these. I'm gonna start throwing you some curveballs.
I mean, you could just throw out these Dangerous in Love by Beyonce, her first one, came out the
New
gate.
Edition.
Heartbreak, New Edition. The Guy Who Shall Not Be Named, his double album.
He got a cut.
What the double R.
Okay, all right. Because I was gonna say, I think he came out with double albums a couple times.
Yeah, he did it twice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got Crazy Sexy Cool, TLC. I think that's their magnum opus. It's quintessential album. I forgot the year it came out, either 92. I was in the second grade.
94.
Oh, 90. I was in the second grade, so 94.
I want to say 94.
Yeah, so
Boys to Men 2.
There we go. Yep. Now I got some. What about some? Well, I got Channel Orange, Frank Ocean. I consider
Mhm.
that. Now here's the thing, Bill. When you talk about the songs I like on that album, it's a small percentage. It's like a 5, right, out of the total body of work. But everybody
Mhm.
else I talk to, they got another 5. That's their go-to, and I think that's the reason why people rock with that album. It's eclectic, and
Mhm.
depending on who you're talking to, you're gonna get a different 5 from out of everyone. So
Janet Jackson, Control.
Control, and I believe she broke or tied her big brother's single record for most number ones.
Okay.
6. So like
Yeah.
so that doesn't happen a lot too, Bill. Like all of these singles going number 1, that's like rare. So that's and if you're gonna go Janet, I count it as an R&B album, man. I know it's a pop album. However, if we're talking about R&B, I'm still including Thriller in there. It's the cheat code. But how you feel about that?
Yeah.
A lot of people disagree.
Solange, see that at the table.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. Hey.
Any and we're notice we're only staying with solo artists. I noticed that were you doing that intentionally?
I do got a question.
No, you went with Boyz II Men.
No.
And I
Boyz
went with
II Men.
New Edition.
New Edition.
All right.
You got Jodeci's first album, Drew Hill's first album.
There we go. Like, let's show some of the R&B groups love.
It's a soundtrack, but it's his album from a soundtrack.
Wait, don't tell me what you're going.
Purple Rain.
I know. Yeah. You'll do Purple Rain. Purple Rain. That's a classic.
That's it. But
I'm also going with
his album.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna get this one, and then we'll jump into the next topic because I feel like it's gonna be controversial. I'm counting Bodyguard as a classic album.
Not her album.
I remember my criteria is different than yours. I don't feel like it has to belong to an artist. I'm just going strictly classic albums.
Oh, I thought we were we said a little earlier we're gonna stick with just
all right,
artist albums.
All right,
but her first album is
me for a curveball, but you said it counts as
well because
it's all him. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Anything else? I mean, I'm drawing a blank here, but classic albums.
The thing about it, so many. I think 112's first album is classic.
Mm.
Not I think it is a classic. Guy's first album is a classic.
Yeah. Self-titled.
Oh God. I would say Keith Sweat's first album is a classic.
Mm.
And again, guys, we're just throwing out names, right? We don't have all of them listed right now. So
if we say they're classics and you guys say they aren't, I think most classics, there's no discrepancy.
For you
to be considered a classic, it needs to be you're universally loved.
What is Destiny's Child's last? Is that Destiny's Fulfilled? That's their last album?
Yes.
I would think that's a classic album.
When
you look at songs, is it that one? Or was there?
I think the last album is Destiny Fulfilled. And then before that.
Is that the one with that's the one with Independent, I think, on it? Independent Woman?
I don't remember if that was on that.
Sorry, guys.
That was just on the
Beehive,
soundtrack.
please.
I don't remember if that was on just the Charlie's Angels soundtrack or it was on the album.
No, I think it was part of their album.
See, growing up, I used to always think their best album was
I'm sorry, it's
but then that is a little
Survivor. It's the Survivor album.
Survivor's the last one?
No. Survivor has Independent Woman on it.
Okay.
Yes, Independent Woman, Survivor, Bootylicious, Emotion. Okay, they got a little emotion on there. I think Destiny Fulfilled. Yeah, Destiny 11 song. Yeah, Destiny Fulfilled. Yeah.
And then you got Beyonce. Beyonce got a couple classics on her own. So
okay, so are we going to segue into that last open discussion?
Which is what I want to talk about. Like, just have an open discussion because I think certain things could throw you out of the discussion for a classic. Is it possible for a classic to lose its classic status?
No, 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 not in my opinion. If you have a classic album, longevity and it stands, although some classic albums, they are going to sound dated for the time because that's what music is. Music is dated for a certain sound. But when you look at certain albums, right?
There's nothing you could do to lose your classic status.
There's nothing, no, not to me.
I feel
not in my
but
opinion.
I feel like
because if you're saying if it loses its classic status, now question, was it a classic?
Well, see, sometimes sometimes it has nothing to do with the music. Like, let's say some controversy happens, and people just aren't rocking with the music anymore.
Such as that doesn't. Okay, so that's on the artist, not on the album.
I understand that, but it's
because
certain, for me, if you classic, you're classic.
The person
I feel like certain people stop rocking with music, and now
the person who shall not be named.
Yeah.
He's canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about him is canceled. But you can't take away the fact that the classic albums are there.
Yeah, some people are taking.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
You can't. Let me take that back. I'm not going to say you can't.
Because some people can't separate the two. So like I understand what you're saying, and I think the same way. Some people can't separate it. So that's and I'll bring up another thing. Like I still consider it, Bill, 8701 a classic album. However, upon further review, I'm not so sure. So I don't know if I'm just a prisoner of comparing Usher to Usher.
Okay.
Or am
so
I?
let me ask you, is My Way a classic album?
I think it is. I think an artist is able to have more than one classic album.
It's not even close. Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
So if My Way is a classic album, I feel like that's on whatever level I'm putting 8701 on, even though I think My Way, maybe I have to go back and listen. I do think there are just certain songs on 8701 that I'm like, oh, this is dated. This sounds like 2001. Like,
so okay, so let me ask you, to get if you're in school and you get an A, to get an A, you have to have, let's say, a 92 or 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say My Way is a 92.
Yeah.
Let's say Confessions is a 100.
Yeah.
Let's just say 8701 is an 89.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. It's still it can tinker in and out, but that doesn't mean that it's not at the upper. It's at the highest peak that a B can get to. Mm-hmm. It just needed one more point, because so you take away some of those songs, right? Or you take one song off and add on another banger or whatever, that may push that to that 90%. So now you got A. So is 8701 a classic album? And when I look at classic, does it have the record sales?
It does.
Impact.
It does. When you look at the singles on there, You Got It Bad, You Remind Me. Just when Usher was just tripping with Kiki, yeah, like everybody was like, "Don't leave your girl around me." That phrase, I know it's Biggie Smalls, but Usher made that, he revived that whole lyric. So now, I consider it, just off of those three songs we just named, it Pounds on the Floor, it's on the radio all the time. It's culturally relevant all the time with these TikTok videos. And then the music, for the most part, on that album is great. It's some of JD's best work. It's just the fact that I think it's penalized for the album that it's predating. It precedes his best.
It's stuck in the middle.
Yeah. So I'm like, but it's still considered.
But he didn't have a sophomore. Well, it's not a sophomore. That would actually be his third album.
Yep.
It's not a slump. It's
at all.
I look at
it's a classic album. That's why I said I'm saying it's classic. So it's not a slump.
Okay, so it's classic.
It's the.
Or is it a very, 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 very good album?
See, that's the thing. Now we have to go talk. Now, I think if you ask most people, they will consider 8701 a classic album. If I just say, hey, here are the songs that are on this album, do you consider it classic? They're going to say yes.
Are they saying yes because of the three songs carried the entire album?
I think that's a staple of classic albums is going to be multiple songs that carry you. Remember, I'm not in love with the percentage thing. I'm saying
Okay,
that song will be forever ingrained in everyone's memory because
it will be
the singles.
It will, yes.
And then
absolutely.
you also got
Okay, I got a question. He has 15 songs, 2 interludes. So now we're looking at 13. You're just looking at 13 songs, total songs. You remind me. Star. That's a star. I don't know featuring Puff. I don't know featuring Puff.
Keep going.
I'm not okay. Twerk it out. You got it bad.
Yeah.
If I want to.
That's one of the songs that sound dated to me.
So right now we have 2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can't let you go.
Sound dated.
You don't have to call.
We got it.
Can you help me?
I think that counts, Bill.
Are you counting because that's what you like, or
I think that's I think there is a large group of people that like that song. So if you don't want to count it, we don't want to count it.
I don't want to say just me. I honestly skip it.
All right.
But if you want to count it, count it.
All right. Now
how do I say?
I think that one is another one. So it depends on you because I want to get outside of my mind. That's the one he sings Spanish on. So is that something that you skip?
I have to go.
How do I say hello? Everything else, I can't take my eyes off you. How do I
got it. I have to go back and remember it. Hottest thing. Good old ghetto.
I used to rock with that song heavy. It sound dated.
U-turn. So we're still sitting at 3 to 4 songs.
I understand that.
Out of 13.
We keep going.
That's it. Oh, I'm sorry. You are the one. So 3 out of 13.
Now we missing a song.
No, we're not.
You Got It Bad not on that album?
Yeah, I said it. That was the 3.
Now you say you remind me. You Got It Bad. You don't have to call.
Yeah.
I feel like you added something else in there, but
Twerk it out. I think Twerk It Out.
Let me look up this track list.
I'm looking at it now.
All right. I mean,
I think those 3 songs just carried the album.
Yeah, that's.
But if you,
all right, so now we would have to say what's a classic album that suffers from the same issue. A classic album, and this is when I went back and looked. It's a lot of albums we consider classic where I'm like, okay, what songs are you rocking with on this album?
Let's name one. If you can.
Well, do you consider Crazy Sexy Cool?
We talked about that yesterday.
A classic.
Pulling it up right now.
All right.
There are 16 total tracks. 4 interludes.
Okay, take out the interludes, just go through the songs.
So now 12. So now we got 12.
Yep.
Creep.
Yeah.
Kick Your Game.
No.
Digging on You.
Yeah.
Okay. Case of the Fake People. Red Light Special.
Sure.
Waterfalls.
Yes.
Let's Do It Again.
I like it. No, but it's not big. I like it. It's not big. That's one of my favorite songs on the album. I got thrown off.
If I Was Your Girlfriend.
I'll
rock with it.
But you also know not a lot of people.
It's Prince.
I know.
Take Your Time. Switch.
No. My sister
Something Wicked with this. How many things you got up for?
I got 4. And remember, I'm not saying I don't like these songs. I'm saying, are these songs universally loved by?
Or are you okay? Let's stick with that. Universally loved.
Yes, that's why I took off some of the Usher ones that were debatable.
Okay, so that's 4.
Yes.
4 out of 12.
4 out of 12. But that's you understand what I'm saying?
That's 33%.
Yeah, but all of these albums we're calling classic when realistically they only have some of these are getting single love, like as in the singles.
So
are the
again,
things
that
that
goes
are,
back to my question. Is
Yeah.
it a really, 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 really great album, or is it a classic?
I think when people talk about these albums that we just named, they consider them classics.
I won't tell you why. Are
I
they
consider-
breaking it down how we're breaking it down right now, or are they just saying?
Everybody has their own definition, but
And
for
that's
the most
why
part,
we need our fans. All right,
Well,
that's why we need our audience.
put y'all 2 cents
Because
in.
go ahead, talk. Because
Yeah,
I'm
put
gonna
y'all
pull
2
something
cents
up.
in. Am I tripping, or are y'all tripping, or is the world tripping? Are these albums that we're naming considered classic amongst most people? Take your feelings out of it. And if so, what's a percentage? What's a healthy percentage? Does percentage matter? I say percentages don't matter. Most people say they do. But when you look back at some of these albums, you're going to realize percentages are off across the board. So number one, let us know y'all 2 cents. What constitutes a classic album? These albums that we're talking about right now, are they considered classic?
Do you agree?
Or are
Yeah.
we off?
Are
And
we
then
off?
give us some stuff that we missed.
Yeah. I'm gonna I want to hit another album. It's 112's first album, right? Unfortunately, we know that these guys are the kings of the interludes. You know, they had that big thing going on, Tank, and it got a little spicy. I'm gonna use that word, a little spicy on Beyonce's internet. But so 112's first album, right? We got 19 tracks. You have 4 interludes, and track number 19 is the Only You remix.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Go through some of the songs.
Can I have you put fingers up?
Sure.
All right. So I'm skipping the skits, the interludes. So now that we're done, I'm reading these. I can't see you, so I'm reading it. So Pleasure and Pain.
I'm gonna skip that one for now.
All right. Cupid. Call My Name.
Yes.
All right. Come See Me.
Yes.
Can I Touch You?
Yes.
I Can't Believe.
Yes.
Only You.
Yes.
I Will Be There.
Yes. Yes.
In Love With In Love With You.
Yeah.
Just a Little While.
Yes.
Why Does.
Yes.
This Is Your Day.
Yes.
Throw It All Away.
Yes.
Only You, the remix.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
here's what I'll say, Bill. I would say you're going off of your ears, because remember, you just said 100% of the album is universally loved.
Not 100.
Every song that you skip one. You skipped Now That We're Done.
Yeah, I have one, but I gotta kind of go back and
now, I
you know
agree.
what? You know what? Take that back. Go back over the songs. Go back over the songs.
Because remember, it's take yourself.
I gotta say universally. I gotta go to universally.
Take yourself out
You're
of it.
right.
Because I could have did
Go
the
ahead.
same thing with A701.
That's my fault. That was my fault.
All right. It's like, I understand what you're saying. I wasn't gonna stop you. So
okay, let's go universally. Go ahead.
Now That We're Done.
Yes.
Pleasure and Pain. That's the one that I think you had to skip.
Yeah. Keep going.
Cupid.
Yes.
No question. Call My Name.
Skip.
Come See Me.
Yes.
Sexy You.
That's
my
interlude.
bad. My bad. Can I Touch You? They got some nice skits though.
We'll go.
I said, all right. I Can't Believe.
Yes.
Only You.
Yes.
I Will Be There.
Skip.
In Love With You.
Skip.
Just a Little While.
Yes.
Why Does.
Yes.
This Is Your Day.
Yes.
Throw It All Away.
Yes.
He did the same thing he did last time, -2. All right, but still, it's still, and I agree. This is
They are just universally, in my opinion, universally accepted. Now I have to look at a few others, but if we look at that percent, their percent is leaning towards on the yes side.
yeah, but even
So
for the
maybe
most
my
part-
percentage needs to come.
but
I just feel
even
if you
if
have,
even if it doesn't, Bill, I can name albums where maybe all of the songs are universally, beloved, but then it doesn't hold up to us to an album where only 5 of them, like, let's say, what I'm trying to say is I can name a Chris Brown album where universally people love the songs more than the 8701 album, but people will consider the 8701 album a better album than the Chris Brown album I'm talking about. Does that make sense?
yes,
With
but
that being said,
Yeah,
that's the only
yeah.
reason I run away from percentages, because it's like, what does it really mean?
in my opinion, it means a lot.
No, it does. I think
You
I think
can't.
it's
okay.
rare for you to be able to listen to an album from beginning to end like ain't nobody business and just ignore the skip button. That's impressive. But I understand that rarely happens. Like on some of my favorite albums, it's going to get to that one song where I'm like, not today.
I got an album. Hold on, I got an album. In let's see. And this is one of your favorite albums of all time.
What's up? I know what you about to do. No, it ain't cool.
It's your favorite, one of your favorite albums of all time. Nah, that's too easy. Heartbreak.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that's too easy because
let's go back.
In my opinion, Don't Be Cruel has no skips.
Yeah.
Like there are absolutely
I could
zero
see
skips.
I could, this, if I'm being objective, I could see certain people not rocking with the back 3.
Boy, I almost said something about them people.
Yeah, I mean,
I almost said
yeah, it's a judge.
I almost said somebody. Nah,
what's the? It's
okay. You ready?
All right, go ahead. Give me.
I'll be good, man.
I know. But I rock with Take It Slow. That's one of my favorite.
Bro, all of them.
Yeah.
But okay, let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Heartbreak album.
Yes.
Intro. It's number 1. So we skip it.
Mm-hmm. Even though their intros go hard.
Unfortunately, I had to do it with 112.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to be objective. Watch this.
Okay.
Because the first song is my
first song. That's the way we live in.
I love that song, but a lot of people don't know that song or rock with it.
So it's not universally. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Take it out.
Where it all started. Where it all started
from. Where it all started. A lot of people.
They just said where it all. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the one where they. I know. I think they dissing. They dissing New Kids on the Block on that one.
Okay. All right. If It Is Love.
Obviously, that's up.
Any Heartbreak.
It's up and it's up.
Crucial.
I like that song. Let me think.
Come on, man. Don't do that.
I like that song. I'm trying to think how I think other people rock with Crucial. Am I tripping on that?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
You're Not My Kind of Girl.
I think it's even after the movie.
It's not.
Yeah.
Super Lady.
I think a lot of people skip that.
Okay. Can You Stand Around?
Stop it.
Competition.
Oh, that's the one where they try and New Kids on the Block. They skip that.
Okay. I'm Coming Home.
I like it. I don't think a lot of other people rock with it. So
Boyz II Men.
I think that's one of Johnny Gill's best ballads. And I think a lot of people consider it one of Johnny Gill's best ballads.
It's one of the best.
Okay, making sure.
Yeah, we're not even talking.
Remember, I'm trying to be extra critical.
So
I think we coming to a close.
If It Isn't Love.
Yeah. 6.
Any Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Mm-hmm.
You're Not My Kind of Girl. Can You Stand the Rain?
Mm-hmm.
And Boyz II Men. Right. So
remember
6. That's 6. So you got to take out. So that's out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 6 out of 11.
Yeah, you close to 50%. See what I'm saying? Like, but if you ask anybody, is that a 50% album where you're skipping through half of it? Nobody's gonna say that.
Well, you're not. Yeah.
That a 50%, that's an F in school, but that's a classic album in this case. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think percentages matter.
I would rather a 50% than a 30%.
Here's the thing. Bill is going to enjoy 75% or more of that because I just gave you the 6 everybody loves.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're also gonna like, it's some of them I took off that were questionable. It's a couple I took off that were questionable. Like for me, I'm probably listening to where it all started. I'm listening to where it all started from. I'm listening to That's the Way We're Living, right? My percentages, everybody's going out of the 5 that we're leaving off. So it's gonna be somebody else's preference.
Yeah.
So I think that's in the mix of a classic album.
A lot can be up and down, but I think when you say a song, it's automatic. Like one song, if I name a song, we're not going to think about a yes or no.
Mhm.
If we have to think about a yes or no, then I think that's where you kind of look at that might not be. But okay, so if I say a name, right?
Mhm.
If I say a name, Michael Jordan, you're going to say Hall of Fame.
Yep.
You're not going to be like,
It's debatable.
no. If I say Charles Barkley, if I say LeBron James, like these names that I'm naming,
Mhm.
it's not even wait. What was his best stats again?
Who?
Did he win a ring?
Yeah.
Did he get an MVP? Like, you got to start thinking.
Yeah, with that, that's why I said a couple singles they make you memorable. Like, what was the first Usher album? With
Usher.
Bedtime.
No, that's not the first one. That's the second one.
All right, what was the first one? The first one is
Usher.
self-titled Usher. What's on that?
It's Can You Get With It and Think About You.
What's the second one? What's the second one?
My Way.
Second one is which is the one where Just Call Me a Mac? That's the first one, right?
Yeah, that's the one Devontae produced.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm an Usher fan. Bill,
that's not a classic.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like your conversation on what was his stats, how many rebounds did he average?
Yeah.
8701. I think people know it. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's years after the fact. That album came out in 2001.
You know what else though? You know what else that goes with that? Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
He had the ability and he had memorable videos as well.
Yes.
You don't got to call video.
Yeah, people know he went with
He's rolling in the
rollout
Cadillac Escalade truck.
Yes.
You know, like we know that.
Yeah.
They get to the party on the skates and
that's but to be fair, when you started reading that track list to me, I'm like, why is this in the conversation again? You know, but it's no question in my mind that's considered a classic.
Yeah.
So
and guys, please don't kill us. We're having fun.
Because y'all kill us, we're gonna kill some of y'all suggestions too. But
yeah, we know we're gonna piss a lot of y'all off. But man, just come in with an open mind and just come in and say, hey man, like let's think about it this way. And you know what? We may even say, hey, we need to revisit this topic, and we may have to bring 1 or 2 people on to discuss this.
Yeah, it's not
because we literally want to talk about this. We love R&B music. We love music as a whole, and this is just something Barry and I talk about offline. And hey man, this will be a good
this topic hurt my feelings, man. Like,
yeah, man.
Some of my artists ain't get in. I don't know if Drew Hill has a classic album.
Whoa.
Wait.
Wait.
Because what do we put? Yeah, what are we putting that? Remember, Drew Hill is my top. That's my Mount Rushmore.
What? Oh,
so,
they got. Yeah,
no,
right.
But remember, you got Enter the Drew, World War Drew, and which one?
Hey, ho. Audience. That's Barry that just said that. He's over there.
I'm saying
over
by
there,
this criteria,
not me.
By this criteria,
Yes.
I'm like, oh shoot, I'm skipping a lot of songs. I'm putting the first one as a classic, but I think that's me being Barry saying I really like the album.
No,
I don't know
bro,
if a lot of people consider it classic.
No, hold on. You know, well, we know we got to do. Drew Hill's first album is Drew Hill.
Can you pull it up real quick?
I'm pulling it up right now. Right.
Because I like honestly, when we were naming classics, I was just like, man, it's gonna sound like I'm doing the thing that Barry. You know what? Yeah, it sounds like I'm doing the thing that Bill said, which is I really like the album. But if I got the track list for the first album here. Just
You
pull
ready?
it up.
I got it.
Yeah. It's the self-titled Drew Hill. I'm gonna tell you.
All right, Anthem is an intro.
Anthem
is an intro. Okay, cool. Let's go. Nothing to prove.
No. Are you put nothing to prove?
No.
You put up fingers too. Tell me.
Yes.
Members, keep yourself out of it. Do you believe?
No.
Whatever you want.
No.
Satisfied.
No.
April showers.
Yes.
All alone.
Yes.
Never make a promise.
Yes.
So special.
Yes.
In my bed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Love's Train. That's the remake.
Shout out to Felton. Like,
yeah. Share My World. Oh, wait. What you doing with Love's Train? I don't think it's a memorable, especially after the song has been used now.
Yeah. We'll skip it.
All right. Share My World. 5 Steps.
Yes.
We counted remixes. In My Bed remix.
Whoa.
It's a big remix at that. I got you. I cleaned it up.
I got 8.
I got 5.
You got 5.
Yeah. Tell me. Well, it's a remix. The rest of them are remix, and then you got the This Christmas. So once again, I said 5 are bona fide. Everybody gonna say yes to. The rest of them are debatable. I'm a Drew Hill fan. I like Drew Hill better than Jodeci.
And I like Jodeci and all them, but over Drew Hill.
But when I went through Drew Hill's albums, I kept coming up with that. Like, okay, that's why I had to throw away your percentage rule. I'm like, nah, you're not gonna screw me over with this rule. You keep it.
I got 8. I got 8.
But even if you do 8, you're doing 8 out of 17. That's less than 50%.
8 out of 7. Where you get 17 from?
Because the total album, it has bonus tracks on it. It has.
I even don't even. Okay, if we don't
take
count
out the bonus track.
Yeah, take out them bonuses.
It's still 50%.
For who?
You said you had 8.
8 out of.
Oh, you know what? I'm including the skit.
Yeah.
I mean,
the number 1 is a skit.
I mean,
that's why I said I do have to probably revisit my percent.
Yeah,
but
that's all I'm saying. Because
but I also do think that it's you just if you have 12 songs and you telling me 3, I just no, I can't go with 3.
That's what we just did. 701.
I can't go with 3, bro. I can't go with 3. Did that with
701 though, but yeah, A701 kind of broke my heart. At one point, I felt like that. I liked that album more.
I think what happened with 8701. He gave us 3 back to back, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first 2, you got Chili in the video. Like he was telling a story.
Yeah.
With the
gets Chili,
first 3 songs.
Chili, he breaks up with Chili.
I
bet y'all, a lot of y'all ain't peeped that. The first video, you remind me, he gets Chili. Like, basically he gets back with her. Then
you got it bad.
And then they break up.
You got it bad.
Wait. They're dating, they break up. And then now it's the aftermath. It's like
now it's like I'm back in the street.
That's to me, that's
now he's back in the street.
I want to know who he got that idea from. If I had to guess, I feel like Flight Time whispered in his ear and was like, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis told him to do it that way. They produced on the album, and that's very reminiscent to what New Edition did with Heartbreak. First video, they practicing for the tour. Second video, they're on tour. Third video, they miss their girls while they're on tour. Fourth video, they come back home, welcome home party. I like when people do that type of storytelling with their.
So, well, don't forget. So, no, the first video is what?
They're practicing for the tour.
Okay. Second video was?
They're on the tour, which is Not My Kind of Girl.
Okay. I thought you skipped that one. Okay.
Nah, and in the third video, they're on tour and they're asking their girls like, hey, you got to put up with this nonsense. Like,
can you stand
the rain out here? And in the last one, it's we back home. Welcome home from the tour. So that rollout with Usher's Ace of the One, it was very creative to me. Like I was like, okay, the storytelling behind it.
I like it. Hey man, this is what we got for
tell them they too
for
sus,
today. Classic albums. Y'all let us know. Are we tripping? Y'all, I'm pretty sure if I have to use my percent rule,
it's gonna
majority y'all gonna say we
condemn
tripping.
A lot of artists.
Y'all gonna say we tripping. But man, look, we just having, like I said, we're having fun. We're just doing some things that we like to do. Let us know, open dialogue. And like I said, we have to revisit this, then hey, we may have to pull the audience member in and let's talk. But Barry, that's all I have today. You got something else?
Nah, that's basically it, bro.
Okay, all right. Guys, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that whenever we drop any new content, you're instantly notified. And don't forget to share our content. Please share our content. Give us a follow on Instagram at @AndInThisCorner1. That's number 1, @AndInThisCorner1. And that's the same for our TikTok, @InThisCorner1. Give us a follow.
Cool. Hey, you guys just survived 3 rounds with some heavyweights. Until next time, peace.
Peace.